High atop Mount Cinder lived a wizard named Xarthas. He possessed unimaginable power. He could move mountains with a flick of his wrist. He could control the very fabric of reality. Yet for all his might, Xarthas was a lonely soul. He yearned for companionship, for laughter and shared stories, but his power had driven everyone away. Xarthas spent his days in his grand castle. It was filled with enchanted objects and magical creatures. He had golems to do his bidding. He had phoenixes singing in his garden, but none of it could fill the void in his heart. He longed for a friend who saw him for who he was, not for the power he wielded. One day Xarthas watched a group of children playing in the village below. They were laughing and chasing each other. A pang of envy shot through him. He wished he could experience the simple joy of friendship. He decided he would use his magic to make friends. Xarthas believed that if people feared him enough, they would stay by his side. After all, who would dare to leave the most powerful wizard in the world? He convinced himself that fear was just another form of respect, and so his journey to find companionship took a dark turn. Xarthas descended from his mountaintop. He appeared in the village square with a terrifying crackle of magic. The villagers cowered in fear. They had heard tales of his power. They knew his reputation for ruthlessness. Xarthas, in a booming voice, declared that he desired friends. He promised protection and prosperity to those who swore loyalty to him. The villagers, too afraid to disobey, reluctantly agreed. They showered him with gifts and empty flattery. Xarthas, blinded by his desperation, mistook their fear for admiration. He reveled in the attention, believing he had finally found what he craved. However, deep down, a seed of doubt lingered in his heart. He organized lavish feasts within his grand castle. He invited the villagers to witness his awe-inspiring magic, but no matter how hard he tried, genuine laughter never filled the halls. The villagers came out of fear, not friendship. Their smiles were strained. Their eyes darted nervously around the room, avoiding his gaze. Xarthas grew increasingly frustrated. He had achieved his goal. People were constantly by his side. Yet he felt more alone than ever. The forced smiles and empty words echoed the hollowness within him. He realized that true friendship could not be conjured or commanded. It had to be given freely. Xarthas, in a rare moment of self-reflection, acknowledged his mistakes. He had ruled through fear and intimidation. He understood now that true connection required something more. He decided to turn over a new leaf. He wanted to show kindness and compassion. He wanted to earn the friendship he so desperately craved. He began by using his magic to help the villagers. He healed their sick. He brought rain to their crops. He even conjured toys for their children. However, his past actions had cast a long shadow. The villagers remained wary. His every act of kindness was met with suspicion. They remembered the terror he had inflicted. They whispered tales of his past cruelty. The children, once eager to receive his enchanted toys, now ran and hid at his approach. Xarthas was heartbroken. He was trying to be better, to atone for his past. Yet it seemed his reputation preceded him like a curse. Despair threatened to consume him. He wondered if he was destined to walk the world alone forever. His power, once a source of pride, now felt like an insurmountable barrier. It separated him from those he longed to befriend. One day, as Xarthas wandered through the forest surrounding his mountain, he stumbled upon a young girl. She was sitting by a stream, her head buried in her hands. She was weeping softly. Xarthas, his heart heavy with unshed tears of his own, approached her cautiously. He sat beside her, unsure of what to say. He had spent so long trying to force connections that he had forgotten how to simply offer comfort. The girl, startled by his presence, looked up. She was just a child, her eyes wide and innocent. She didn't recoil from him as others did. She simply stared at him with a mixture of curiosity and sadness. "Why are you crying?" Xarthas asked gently. His voice, usually booming and commanding, was soft and hesitant. The girl sniffled and pointed to a small bird lying injured on the ground. "I found him like this," she whispered, her voice thick with tears. "I don't know how to help him." Xarthas looked at the bird. It was a simple sparrow, its wing bent at an unnatural angle. He could heal it with a snap of his fingers, but something stopped him. He realized that using his magic wouldn't teach him anything about true connection. This time he wanted to offer something more genuine. "May I?" he asked, holding out his hand for the bird. The girl looked at him, her eyes searching his. She seemed to sense his sincerity. She carefully placed the bird in his outstretched palm. Xarthas, cradling the bird, gently smiled. It was the first genuine smile he had shown in a long time. He realized he didn't need magic to make a difference. Sometimes, all it took was a kind heart and a willingness to help.